ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We will chant Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verses 16 to 20.
किं कर्म किमकर्मेति कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहिताः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात् कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः कर्मण्यकर्म यः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तकृत्स्नकर्मकृत् यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पण्डितं बुधाः त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः।
We have in this chapter 4 so far studied up to shloka number 18. I said shloka number 18 is a very important shloka in this chapter, in the entire Bhagavad Gita. In fact, this chapter is called as Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, the yoga of renunciation of action through knowledge. The gist of this chapter is given from this shloka till 24. You can say so. It's not that the other shlokas are not talking about what this chapter is talking about. But the gist is given in 18 and explained in 19 to 24. And it is very important to understand what Sri Krishna is talking about here. See, the biggest problem in life is not our ignorance. Please understand. The problem is not our ignorance. The problem is our knowing, which are all misunderstandings. That's why Josh Billings very famously said, the trouble with most folks is not so much their ignorance, but they're knowing so many things which ain't so. The problem is the knowing. We have a certain understanding about us, about our actions, and the results that accrue from it, and about the world. There is a lot of misunderstandings, misconceptions about individual's action, and the results that come from those actions, and the world. Now, if there is a lot of misunderstandings, misconceptions, how can the individual relate with the world correctly? You tell me. It's not possible. The relationship is bound to be filled with stress and strain. That's the problem. we want to get rid of stress and strain. But we don't think there is anything wrong with us. We always think the cause of our stress is something external. So, when we get away from action, we don't get stressed. So, what do? When we act, there's so much stress. So, I want to just get away from action, go to some spa, relax, when I'm feeling stress free. Then again, when I come back to action, I'm feeling stressed. So I think action is giving me stress. I come to wrong conclusions in everything. This is the problem. Even when we contact, there is a wrong conclusion about the fact where is happiness, where is enjoyment. We think there is enjoyment in the object. We think there is enjoyment in the world. That's why we do all kinds of things. So that is why before plunging into contacting the world, we need to first clear all these things. Firstly, clear the ideas that we have about ourselves, about our actions, about its results, about the world and its nature, about happiness, enjoyment, etc., etc. And this is exactly what Gita does. It clears. This is exactly what all the Shastras do. That's why they are called as Shastram, means teach and protect. When you approach Shastra, the Guru who teaches the Shastra with devotion, with qualification, and learn the Shastra correctly, the message in the Shastra will protect you from the wrongdoings and they will make you to do the right thing. That's all it is. That's why we say Shastram is Pramanam. Go to the Guru and learn. Because the words of Shastra, if you read directly without going to the proper Guru and without proper qualification, you can misunderstand. Even these shlokas are all misinterpreted. All are misinterpreted. Even when we study Ramayana, we come to wrong conclusions. Firstly, nobody has the patience to study the original Ramayana and think. And just like that, we've heard the story of Ramayana from here and there. And then we come to the conclusion that it is as I've heard. And then accuse Rama, Sita, anybody. Whenever we do this, not just about Lord Rama, Ma Sita, or anybody, even in the world, whomsoever you are accusing, see the thing from a total picture. What is the character of Rama? From the beginning till end. How such a person could have done this? So obviously there is something wrong in the way I am understanding. This bhav is very essential in a seeker. Without this bhav, if we have the arrogance to believe that I have understood correctly, I know, then we are not even open to listen to another viewpoint. Whosoever will give the same viewpoint that I am holding, we will appreciate. Most of the time, this is what is happening. I am only listening to the person who speaks about things that I am already convinced about. So, the way I am convinced, if somebody speaks, I'll agree. I'm not really listening to anybody else other than myself. So, this is a very big problem. So, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, How did the whole Gita begin? Arjuna put his bow and arrow down and said, I will not fight. And he gave so many reasons. This will incur pap and all that. And luckily, after Sri Krishna spoke a little bit, he was not giving the real knowledge. He was just telling Arjuna something. And then he surrendered and Gita started. So why you didn't want to fight? What are all the misconceptions? When those misconceptions are cleared, you will do the action or not do the action. Both are action actually. Basically what it means is you choose to do or not to do. Both are action. What kind of results it will bring, having understood, you do. Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, none of the scriptures talk about do's and don'ts. Please understand this. They never say these are things that you can do, these are things that you should not do. They never talk about it. Even though in this very portion, 16 and 17, verse number 16, 17, he says, even wise people do not know what is action, inaction. Therefore, I will teach you what is action, inaction, and forbidden action. Never does he mention any example of action. This is action that should be done. This is action that should not be done. This is forbidden action. Though he said, I will teach you, is very clearly mentioning, I shall teach you what is action, what is inaction, what is forbidden action. Show me one shloka where he says, this is to be done, this is not to be done, this is inaction. No. Yet he is teaching it. Does it mean that he is not teaching what is action, what is inaction, what is forbidden action? Of course he is teaching. That's why I said this portion is a very interesting portion and we need to understand, learn. So he promised, I shall teach what is action, what is inaction, what is forbidden action. And then in 18th shloka, he said, you should know, you should see, he who sees inaction in action, akarma in karma, karmanya akarmani ya pashyet. In the action, you should see inaction. You should see inaction. Inaction means what? You should see inaction in the action tattva. And then akarmanicha karmaya. See action in inaction. Sa buddhiman. Whosoever sees it thus, whosoever has understood that correctly, is called as buddhiman by wise people, by shastras. Sa buddhiman manushyeshu, of all the people, he is considered to be the wise. Sa buddhiman manushyeshu, sa yuktaha, he is the one who is centered, established in the shastra, in the scripture, in Brahman, in spirituality, in awareness. Then, kritsna karma krit, the doer of all actions, means what? One who has the satisfaction that everything that has to be done is done by him. One who has the contentment that I have done everything. Nothing is to be done. Now, I'm very scared of using this phrase, kritsna karma krit. I'm saying nothing is to be done. Then you say, oh, there is nothing to be done. You'll stop. So he's explaining, that's why it's very important. He's very clearly explaining, even though, now when a person who is not qualified, when a person who is not putting right effort is contacting the scripture, he is bound to misunderstand what I said just now also. He thinks, oh, nothing is to be done and he'll stop doing it. But when a person who is qualified and puts in effort to understand correctly, listens, how he will understand is, even though he may be doing, he understands that nothing is being done by him and continues doing in that spirit. This is what he's teaching here. That's why I said this portion is very, very important, and it's necessary to understand this correctly. So, we talked about action and we talked about reaction in the previous class. Most of our actions are springing from the level of ego and mind. It is never spontaneous expression of knowledge, of wisdom. That's the problem. All our actions are reactions. Either we react or we remain inactive, doing nothing. When we do nothing, though there are a lot of desires and ego there in us, and with the ego and desire, when we react, both are going to bind us. This we have to understand. On the contrary, with the clear understanding about my true nature, about Atma, as akarta, as a non-doer, I may be engaged in doing many actions. When such a person is doing actions, those actions are springing from knowledge, not from the ego and mind, ego and desire. Not springing from egocentric desires and egoistic attitude. It is springing from the wisdom. Such an action is spontaneous, that is true action. In true action, there is no doership. That's what he's saying. See inaction in action. See the non-doership in these type of actions. That's what it means. Please understand this correctly. See the non-doership in and through these actions. That is what inaction in action means. Adi Shankara gives beautifully two examples to explain this shloka. See, he is from Kerala. Adi Shankaracharya is from Kaladi, Kerala. Isn't it? We sing a beautiful bhajan, Guru song in Tamil, Shankara Guru. In that we say, Kaladi Tonriya Gurunatha. Kaladi Tonriya Gurunatha. Inai Kaividuvayo Gurunatha. O Gurunatha, who's born in Kaladi, will you leave me? I've taken refuge in you. So that's what the bhajan is. So he is from Kerala. In Kerala, there are a lot of, boats. So he gives this example. Now, when a person is sitting in the boat and the boat is moving, by the side of the rivers, there are a lot of trees. Boat is moving, trees are not moving. He is seated in the boat. For him, it appears as if the trees are moving. The non-moving trees seems to be moving. So what is saying? In the so-called moving trees, see the unmovingness. Don't worry about the English grammar here. What kind of English he is speaking. Don't worry about all that. Understand the concept correctly. In the so-called moving trees, see the unmovingness, non-movingness. Correct? You are traveling in the boat. You have to see, at the moment, what is your perception? Your perception is trees are moving. Well, the trees are not actually moving at all. So Adi Shankara is telling inaction in action. When you have to see inaction in action means what? It means seeing the non-movingness in the moving trees as though moving trees. Okay? Number one. Now, in the same Kerala, you have ocean, isn't it? Arabian Sea. You are standing on the seashore and you are seeing a ship which is moving at a very far distance. For you, it appears as if it is not moving. So you are saying that ship is not moving. That ship seems to be not moving. Now, Adi Shankara says, in that ship that seems to be not moving, see the movingness. That is the next statement. Action in inaction. You understand? So, the so-called not moving ship, the ship that appears to be not moving, in that ship that appears to be not moving, see the motion, see the movingness. Now, why he is saying this? Because, wonder what is this, all this confusion and all that he said at the beginning is the confusion. We don't have any confusion. No, this is what is actually happening. He already in the second chapter talked about Atma, Anatma, Viveka. What is self, what is non-self, what is Atma, what is Anatma. This body, mind, intellect is Anatma. That which is beyond this body, mind, intellect is Atma. Those who are attending our Tattva Bodha class, which we do on Saturday mornings, that is yesterday morning, we did. And interestingly, there we have now come to that portion where he is actually talking about Atma from the assertion angle. So far he talked about Atma from the negation angle. And yesterday we started in the class about Atma from the assertion angle. First he said, Atma, what all it is not. It is not the three bodies, the causal, subtle and gross bodies, it is not. Then, it is not the three states of consciousness, waking, dream, deep sleep, it is not. It is not the five sheaths, panchakoshas, Annamaya kosha, food sheath, Pranamaya kosha, vital air sheath, Manomaya kosha, mental sheath, Vijnanamaya kosha, intellectual sheath, Anandamaya kosha, bliss sheath. It is not any of these sheaths. So these 11 aspects he rejected, negated and said, all this Atma is not. Then what is Atma? He says, Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. Atma is of the nature of Sat existence, Chit consciousness, Anandam bliss. This is what we are studying in Tattva Bodha in yesterday's class. Okay. So this is Atma. And that Atma in the second chapter we already said it is Nityam, it is Sarvagatam, it is eternal, it is all pervading, it is Ajaha, it is not born, it doesn't die, it is Amaram, Amaratvam, and it is Akarta, Abhokta, it doesn't do anything. It's a non-doer, Akarta. And being a non-doer, it has no karma effect, therefore it is Abhokta. Non-enjoyer. All that he explains. The second chapter. You must remember all that now. So, what he's saying is, this Atma, where is it seated? It is seated in this puri called the body. Isn't it? This body. In the male body and female body, they are different puris, but both are puri. The Isha who is sitting in the male body and the female body is one. Consciousness is one. Sitting may be slightly different. You understand? I am sitting and talking in Faridabad now, which is belonging to Haryana. You are sitting and listening. Some of you are from Delhi. Some of you are from maybe Gurgaon. Some of you are from Noida and all that, Uttar Pradesh. And I know Shalini is from Lucknow. So, Sukumar is from Chennai. All these people are listening, right? Now, Puri is different, but the consciousness is same. Purusha. That Purusha is that consciousness. So, in Mirabai's story, it is said that when Mirabai happened to go to an ashram, she was told, you cannot come in. Why? Because here only Purushas live, only men live. In that sense, they told. Then she said, Acha, I didn't know that you all have become Purushas. I thought only Sri Krishna is Purusha, meaning consciousness alone is Purusha. The moment she said that, the Guru said, please come in. You understand? We must understand this concept very clearly. Purusha means that consciousness that is expressing in and through this Puri. And this Puri, elsewhere in the Gita itself, he mentions this Puri is what? It's 9-gated city. Navadware Pure Dehi. Understand? This city is a 9-gated city. Slight modifications may be there here and there, but it's a 9-gated city. In this, the Lord only is dwelling. And therefore, we, the Jiva, the individual who has been given this name, Vishal, Shalini, Sudarshan, Vanita, etc., we are all what? Combination. What combination? Atma, Anatma combination. And for this combination, we say Jivatma. Jivatma is the reflected consciousness expressing through this Anatma. The consciousness expressing through the body, mind, intellect complex we call Jivatma. So who is having the confusion? Is Atma having the confusion or the Jivatma having the confusion? But Paramatma, we call that as Paramatma. Atma as Paramatma and we, the combination, as Jivatma. Paramatma is not confused. There is no confusion for Paramatma. You understand? Confusion is always for the Jivatma. We are the ones who are confused. So, our representative is Arjuna, confused individual. Sri Krishna is the Guru who is enlightened soul. So, he is explaining, Hare Baba, now please understand. The non-moving Atma, the non-doer Atma, don't say Atma is a non-doer. Atma is not somebody else other than you. Atma is you, your real nature. So he is saying, today what is your understanding? यार मैं ये कर रहा हूँ, मैंने ये किया पिछले साल में, पिछले जन्म we don't remember, but in the past I did this, and you know I am a doer. I'm thinking about myself. It's exactly like thinking about the tree which is not moving as it is moving. This is the mistake we are doing. This is the confusion. Once this is accepted, then all the things come. First, the fundamental thing you question. So Adi Shankara is saying, and of course, Sri Krishna is saying this, which Adi Shankara beautifully explains. He says, see, this is what is happening. You are mistaking this Atma as a doer. You are thinking yourself to be Shalini, Vishal, Vanita, Sudarshan, Lakshmi Narayan. Then who are these people? Jivas. Who are at the moment expressing as what? As what? Wakers. In the sleep, they go through and become dreamers. And sometimes they become deep sleepers. At the moment, they are manifesting as wakers. The waker is given the name, all these names. For transactional purpose in the waking state. It's about it. So therefore, he's saying, you must see inaction in the action. This misunderstanding has to be removed. What is the misunderstanding? That you are thinking that you are the doer. You are actually the non-doer. Even through all these actions, you must understand that the body is acting, mind is acting, intellect is acting. I am not acting. Swamiji explains this with the example of petrol in a car. No car can move without petrol. But petrol is a non-doer. It doesn't move. Petrol has no desire to move or not to move. Petrol has no desire to move or not to move. Yet no car can move without petrol. Okay. And when the car meets with an accident or reaches the destination safely, it is to do with the driver. It's nothing to do with the car. The petrol. Similarly, if the car performs very well or doesn't perform very well, it is nothing to do with the petrol. It's to do with the engine or the other parts. So, therefore, you must be very clear. The thing that actually does the doership is for the body, mind, and intellect. Basically, body and mind. I told you, mind and intellect can be broadly spoken as mind. Thoughts. When the thoughts are indiscriminate in nature, we call it mind. When the thoughts are discriminate in nature, we call it intellect. So, therefore, it is body-mind complex. This body-mind complex is always associated with action. And Atma is never associated with action. It is always non-doer. This has to be clear. Okay. So is he teaching what is action, what is inaction? Very beautifully is teaching. Without telling this you do, that you should not do. No. Those kind of do's and don'ts he never teaches. No Gita teaches. And then, this is the first part. Second part, first part is what? Seeing inaction in action. The second part is seeing action in inaction. So where you are seeing a ship far away. For your eyes, it appears as if it is stationary in the same place, not moving. Maybe moving at a very high speed. But the darshanam is what? At the moment, it looks like it is not moving. Similarly, there are people who sit down doing nothing. Nothing they do. Tamasic. Like how Arjuna was sitting in the beginning of the Gita. He has all the interest. He wants Pandavas to win. He wants Pandavas to get back the kingdom. You know that from the very argument he made. What did he say? Hare Krishna, even if I fight and kill them, all this he says in the first chapter. Even if I fight and kill them and get the throne, the kingdom, everything that we got will be stained with the blood of these people. So what is it showing? It is showing that he is very much interested. He is very much a doer. He is very much a karta. He is very much having desires. He is simply not acting. पाप मेरे को नहीं आना चाहिए बस. You do, no problem. I will not do, you do. Sometimes we do this, in fact, in the ashram, when I was studying many years ago, 92 to 95, that time, Swamiji's grandson Dwarak and few other boys and girls used to come to the ashram during their holiday. Once in a while, Swamiji allows us to play cricket and all. Those days, nowadays, every day they play. So we all want to play. So when these boys come, they're very small boys, that time. Now they have grown up. In fact, Swamiji's grandson is also one who studied in the ashram and is staying there only, Barak. So we used to nicely send these boys, go and ask permission from Swamiji to play cricket. As if they are asking you. So they go and Swamiji says, play, and we all play. It's exactly like that. Inside, guna is there in the mind, but it is in tamasic state, not doing anything. Even though it is not doing anything, the karma is there in that. So karma always belongs to the body, mind, intellect. Brahman, Atman. Brahman, we don't use the word here, use the word Atman. Atma, Paramatma is beyond gunas. It is nirguna tattvam. So, even in a person who is not doing, that not doing is a reaction. And there are other people, there is no confusion. That fellow has a lot of doership and is doing action also. Okay, and he is propelled by the desire. It goes and acts out of reaction. Somebody is remaining inactive out of reaction. But a person who's got this knowledge about Atma, about himself, about oneself, that person spontaneously acts. That is alone true action. That alone is action. And that alone is also true inactive principle. That alone is true inaction. In that sense, action and inaction are one and the same. That's what I said in the previous class, that when you really are a non-doer, when you're really a non-doer, that's when all doing happens. That's when all doing happens. That's why I gave the example last week. A person who's generally a chatterbox, never stops talking, on talking. A fellow, put him on a podium, say, talk now. You go, you can't speak. Why? I am the doer. I am conscious of myself. When the doership comes, action is not there. The same fellow in the bathroom is singing very nicely because that I am the doer is temporarily not there. Do you understand? The doership is not there. So when in you the doership is not there, the real action comes. So in that sense, action and inaction are one and the same. So that alone is action. Because such actions don't incur any vasanas. That he is going to explain from 19 onwards. So I'm not going to the details of it. That's why I told you. This shloka number 18 is the gist of this entire chapter and the entire Gita. And this is what is explained from 19 to 24. So we'll go into those details when I explain them. So therefore, such a person is acting with awareness about his or her original nature. And such actions are spontaneous actions, not reactions. Therefore, they are karma, they are akarma. From that sense, they are not reactions. And then, they are the actions that is to be done. This is how action is to be done. All other actions are forbidden actions. Please understand. It's not like these actions are forbidden, those actions are not forbidden. That in a certain context we may discuss like that. That's a different thing. Even when Shastras say, do this, don't do this. Why do they say? It is because such a thing, the possibility is there of your awareness being drawn away. Therefore, don't do it. Even certain things what you see your guru may be doing, you don't do. Why? Because when the guru is doing, he has reached a level where that object has no capacity to draw his attention away, draw his awareness away. We have not reached that level. So we will get drawn away by that. Therefore, it becomes something that we should not do. Therefore, we are told, don't blindly follow your guru. And when it comes to the guru, the Shastra say, see, the student have the weakness to follow you blindly. So you don't do certain things. And those things in that context, they talk, if at all. But strictly speaking, what is action? What is inaction? What is forbidden action? He said, no, I will explain. What is action? What is inaction? What is forbidden action? So any action that you do mechanical is forbidden. Because any mechanical action alone binds you. And any action that you do with consciousness, with full awareness, doesn't bind you. And that's why we say, with awareness, with consciousness, you cannot do anything wrong. You try. I even spoke about that story of Saint Nagarjuna. He told that thief, I'm not going to the story again, he told the thief, continue stealing. All other sages said, stop. Maafi mango. Ask for forgiveness. He didn't say all that. He said, go do it. Go steal. Only one condition. Steal consciously. Karo, karke dekho. It's not possible. Scriptures never talk about dropping. Scriptures always talk about taking up something higher and growing. As you grow, many things drop. That's why when Swami Vivekananda was asked, what did you gain from coming into spirituality? He said, I don't know what all I gained, but I can very surely tell what all I lost. He said, I lost anger. I lost jealousy. Like that he listed out one by one. It's impossible that with awareness these things can survive. Darkness cannot survive in the presence of light. When Lord Sun, there's a story. Lord Sun was told, there is a beautiful girl called Nisha, darkness. You should meet her and marry her. So he tried meeting her. Whenever he gets closer to her, she vanishes. Whenever light goes, sun goes near darkness vanishes. So he never met her. He remained a bachelor. Good for him. You understand? So, this is the point. So that's what he's saying. Know what is karma, what is akarma, what is vikarma. Don't go by these conditionings. Don't go by these societies. Sri Krishna is an advocate of original thinking. Shastras are advocate of original thinking. They have been slowly, made into things that will tell you do's and don'ts. And they don't come down to that level, do they? Don't. Now you may ask, sir, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, after giving all the knowledge, the Guru says to the Shishya who is, leading, it's a convocation. Satyam vada, dharmam chara. What is this? Is he not saying Satyam vada, dharmam chara? He doesn't say these are all Satyam, these are all dharmam. You understand? Always be on the side of truth. Always be on the side of righteousness. That's what he's saying. So, we need to understand these things. Without understanding these things, we criticize Sri Krishna's actions. We criticize Lord Rama's actions. Anyone who's evolved, who's at that high level, with that awareness, whatever they do, it is action. It's not a reaction. So, anything we do without awareness, we are doing it as doers. So when we do things which relatively happens to do good to many people, it will come back with karma. What karma? Punya karma. When we do something which relatively does bad to others, it comes back with pap, evil result. Well, virtue and vice. So the thing is awareness, non-awareness. Understanding, not understanding. How are you understanding about yourself? Are you understanding about yourself as Atma? Or are you understanding yourself as Anatma? If you are understanding yourself as Anatma, then all things happen. This is how it has been happening. The moment you understand yourself, understand means not intellectual understanding, real deeper understanding. Once that happens, then you will not be reacting at all. You will only be doing action. Your actions will be, on the foundation of innocence. It is always in the foundation of innocence. It's never on the foundation of ignorance or half-baked knowledge, which is also ignorance. It's never from that angle. So, he therefore says, he who sees inaction in action and action in inaction, such a person is called as wise among men. The one who sees action in inaction, not the one who understands action in inaction and inaction in action. No. If by my Guru's grace and the Guru Parampara's grace and by God's grace, if I today explain this shloka correctly, you might have correct understanding. That is different from really seeing it correctly, really seeing it rightly in every action, at every time, at all times. You understand? So he's saying that he who sees inaction in action and action in inaction, such a person is considered as wise among human beings. Sabuddhiman. Otherwise, you are only intelligent. You are not really having intellect. You are only having knowledge. You are not really having wisdom. Sabuddhiman manusheshu. And that buddhiman will be what? Will be a yogi. He is a yogi. Sa yuktaha. He is a yukta, one who is centered, established in the knowledge. Once the person sees it that way, 24/7, 365 days, he will be united. In the ashram, when I was studying, in our academy called Vedanta Academy, Swamiji first, once, till that time I never knew there is something called as 3D picture and all. He brought nice books, nice books, which had all the 3D paintings, prints. He said, after the class, you all can go through them, see them. And if you see that, it will be as if some ink has been thrown here and there, jumbled ink. That's all you see. But if you take time and slowly focus and see, you will suddenly see a beautiful 3D picture. It could be an aquarium, it could be a swimming pool, it could be a cricket stadium, soccer stadium, it could be an auditorium where few people are dancing and few people are watching. It could be anything. Okay. Now, it will take some time for you to see. Once you've seen one picture, you turn the page, next one, immediately you'll see. Third one, immediately you'll see. Fourth one, everything you'll see immediately. One who has not seen even one will struggle. He won't see anything. Once you've seen, immediately keep changing the pages. You will see everything perfectly. That's what that seeing. अगर आप वो देख लिया, कहाँ होता है वो seeing? अंदर होता है, बाहर नहीं. जब अंदर ऐसा नॉलेज आपका अंदर आ गया, फिर बाहर सब कुछ ऐसा ही देखेगा. आपका दृष्टि चेंज हो जाता है, आपका परसेप्शन चेंज हो जाता है. Your perceptions change. Everything changes. Thereafter, it's a leela, it's a sport. You play, it's a big tamasha, you enjoy. That's what he's saying. Kritsna karma krit. For such a person, who is a yogi, who is established in that knowledge, he is a Kritsna karma krit. Means what? Doer of all actions. Also, it means one who has done all actions. You can take it both ways. Doer of all actions, I told you. It is the same Atma sitting in everybody. It is the same Atma sitting in me, enabling my body, mind, intellect to speak now. It is the same Atma sitting in all of you, enabling your body, mind, intellect to listen. So, all the actions of speaking, listening, dancing, everything is possible because of what? Because of that Atma. From that sense, it's the doer of all actions. It is the doer of all actions from that angle. And also, when I understand that as Atma, I am a non-doer and I don't do anything, there is nothing to be done. The body, mind, intellect does. I am non-doer, I am paripurna. There is nothing to be done to achieve perfect, state. I am perfect. You understand? Therefore, there is nothing to be done. Through me, in the context, what has to be done because of prarabdha gets expressed through me. So, I become the doer of all actions. At the same time, I am a non-doer. I am satisfied with all actions. I understand that there is nothing to be done. Nothing to be done means in this sense. Okay. Now, with this knowledge, what is the benefit? What is the fruit? What is the result of such a knowledge? Firstly, whatever we do, we will not have guilt feeling. Guilt chale jayega. Guilt will not be there. And then there will be tremendous peace. Because action is done by the body, mind, intellect, not me. So there will be peace. And also, another interesting thing, it's the same Atma functioning in all beings. So many things are happening. So all actions are my actions also. And accordingly, whatever great things are achieved by many people, those achievements are my achievements also. So I'll be happy in others' achievements rather than having jealousy, envy. And if somebody is doing wrong things, then there you may ask, if he or she is doing wrong things, then I should be agitated also. Going by the same logic, no. There what happens is, I understand that fellow is doing such actions because he doesn't know this truth. Okay? And as a result of that, he is thinking himself to be the body, mind, intellect and doing such actions from that ego level, from that mind level. Therefore, I won't judge him as a papi. I understand that his actions are pap, but he is not a papi. He is Atma. Hate the sin, not the sinner. So I will have forgiveness. These are all the benefits. These are all the results. These are all the qualities that he is talking about in the Gita itself later on, which naturally comes in a Gnani. You understand? The forgiveness that we are doing now is as if we are all perfect, we are all spiritual people. I forgive you. Chalo jao. That is not forgiveness. That is nonsense. That is ego. In real forgiveness, anything real, anything true, in anything that is that can be called as truth, there will be no ego. There will be no ego. There will only be innocence. Please understand this. So, kritsna karma krite. So beautifully he says, sa buddhiman, sa yuktaha. Yukta means united, centered. Centered. He is the one who is established. All other fellows are just talking. Just talking. Sa buddhiman manusheshu sa yuktaha kritsna karma krit. You understand? That person is the doer of all actions. He understands that nothing to be done, everything is already perfect, everything is already paripurna. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purna, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Avashishyate. He understands that. Therefore, it's Krishna Karma Krita. That's what he says beautifully. Outstanding shloka. If you really understand these shlokas, you will revel in it. But you are not supposed to just revel. You should plunge into it. You should start bringing the transformation. And that, when you dwell, you will become wise. You will become yukta. You will become Krishna Karma Krita. That's all he says. So, what he spoke in this shloka, with that understanding, when you function, you are a Gnani. The Gnani's karma will have no effect. So, you cannot actually do sannyasa of karma. The real sannyasa of karma happens only with knowledge. What knowledge? That I am the Atma, which is akarta abhokta. So once you have got that knowledge that I am Atma, which is akarta abhokta, whatever may be your conscious choice, whether to do or not to do, both are what? Both are not going to bring any karma bondage. Let's conclude. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.